Coming up in today's video, we're going to be talking about a WWE star departing the company. Also, in addition to that, we got to take a look at a very interesting tease coming from Pearce. And yes, we are going to talk about a WWE superstar being injured. But first, we got to talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling right here on the Ango Show. So we all thought for a while that maybe New Japan Pro Wrestling was going to go away from the United States market in 2026. Maybe we would see them do less and less shows in 2026. However, Death Invitational was basically announced. So Death Vegas Invitational will be taking place on April 16th. But the reason why this is a big deal is because WrestleMania is also that same week on April 18th, WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas. Now, New Japan Pro Wrestling is obviously trying to do their expansion. Then it looks like they might be going back a little bit. Maybe they're a little hesitant on doing this, but I actually think it's a great thing. I think for New Japan Pro Wrestling, there is a market for them in America. Yeah, I don't expect them to be selling out 10, 15,000 seat arenas. That's not pretty realistic, but I do think we need to take a look at New Japan Pro Wrestling as a serious competitor. Throughout the last few years, maybe things have been going downhill a little bit, but with their ties to AEW, Las Vegas weekend, if I'm Tony Khan, I'm sending talent to this event. I think that would be a very big idea. I think that would be a very good idea. And also for Tony Khan and AEW specifically, you know, they don't do anything Las Vegas weekend. They're not doing anything for WrestleMania weekend. And Tony Khan could always change his mind, but maybe he'll even do something with Ring of Honor. I think if you have New Japan here, you could definitely do some stuff together. I think it would be great business. I think it would be really fun. WrestleMania weekend is always a big weekend for professional wrestling. Companies like GCW take advantage of it. I really like the fact that New Japan Pro Wrestling is taking advantage of it. And, you know, maybe this means that the US expansion, maybe it's not necessarily done with. They confirmed their 2026 calendar schedule, you know, and really there's some great stuff to look forward to. Best of the Super Juniors 33. The final will take place on June 7th. June 14th is Dominion. They have Sakura Genesis on April 4th, which is about a week and a half before the Death Vegas Invitational. I think this is really dope. With Desperado now being in title contention for New Japan Pro Wrestling, I can expect this to probably be something of somewhat a big deal, but we'll see what happens. I think for me, what's really going to excite me is to see maybe what AEW Ring of Honor contribute to New Japan when they come to Las Vegas. But definitely a thumbs up for me. I'm really excited to see what happens here. Now let's switch gears to some injury news in the WWE. Friday Night SmackDown, we thought we were going to get Michin versus Jade Cargill, and then Michin got hurt at a live event and she was pulled from the show. And then interestingly enough, the rumor going around was that b-fab would be taking her place, but it actually turns out that instead she's also off of WWE television due to an injury. This past week, apparently she suffered a concussion, which is now taking her out of action, which is actually really unfortunate. Now, I don't know about you guys. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but I hope you have been. If you're online, then you know that Natty Neidhart and the Hart Dungeon has actually been training b-fab, and she's actually been getting a lot of this stuff down really well, and it's actually coming across pretty damn good on TV. WWE actually has high hopes for her, and they would like to utilize her. Now that she's got a concussion, she's going to be out of television for a little while, which is very unfortunate, but I'm excited to see her come back, and I'm excited to see how she blends in with the rest of the roster. She has made such a massive improvement since training with Natty Neidhart in the Hart Dungeon, so ultimately I get really excited about the possibilities of her in the future. Of course, injuries suck, especially concussions. There's a lot of risk with concussions, and you guys don't need me to tell you this, but with b-fab suffering a concussion, you want to be optimistic that this isn't anything too serious. b-fab wasn't the most experienced wrestler coming into WWE SmackDown, and her tenure in NXT was actually kind of short-lived, but the fact that she's catching on to professional wrestling is a very good thing, and I can't wait to see what she actually does. Okay, by now you probably have heard me talk about Chris Jericho coming to WWE since like the summer of 2025, and this is where things get really interesting because Pearce dropped a video on social media today teasing 3 big championship matches on WWE Raw. But what he said next was the thing that's got everybody in an uproar. Why? Because he said, who's going to break the walls down? And obviously this is Chris Jericho's tease, which by the way makes the most sense. January 5th, Stranger Things, Netflix 1-year anniversary, collaboration, live. There's so many call-ups expected, returns, possible debuts, whatever it may be. WWE is going all out for this episode, so it shouldn't really shock you if Pearce is the one coming out and teasing this. But also, at the same time, too, how can you not get excited about this? Chris Jericho returning to the WWE for the first time in like so many years. It's just such a beautiful thing. Listen, guys, Chris Jericho is a veteran. You could love him, hate him. It doesn't matter. You got to respect him. He's an OG. This is a guy that is absolutely still able to go, and there is still so much value. There is still so many reasons why it's good for business. And I get it. I was critical of Chris Jericho in the learning tree, but I loved everything else that Chris Jericho did in AEW. And now with WWE and the way that they run things, it's just hard for me not to be excited. I really love the idea of him coming back. And I love the fact that Adam Pearce is the one teasing it. I love that WWE doesn't stray away from doing this. Listen, social media is social media. You got to play into the rumors. You got to play into everything. Whether or not Chris Jericho shows up, we don't really know for sure. But we've heard for a while that that was the plan. And what a great way to celebrate 1 year on Netflix. You bring back Chris Jericho. You have a world championship match. You have so much going on in this episode. I just think naturally fans are going to be incredibly happy. And personally speaking, I look forward to pretty much all of it. SmackDown for 3 hours was an incredible episode. Like, I was blown away by what WWE did for the simple fact that SmackDown has largely been going downhill. Now you add Chris Jericho into the mix, possible call-ups, whatever it may be. How do I not get excited about that? I don't know. I'm truly excited about it, and I can't wait to see. Let this be a reminder, once we hit 100,000 subscribers, we're going to do a live stream and give away a World Championship replica belt, so go ahead and do me a favor and click subscribe. Okay, that brings us to our final topic. Ladies and gentlemen, another WWE departure has been confirmed. Not the biggest name, not the smallest name, but it's still a name in the WWE universe that had a lot of potential. And really, the circumstances surrounding this is actually kind of sad and unfortunate. We are talking about Brinley Reese. Now, Brinley Reese was somebody who a lot of people actually thought had a lot of potential, mainly because of her out-of-the-box, wonky character, charisma, things of that nature. Unfortunately, she came out on social media and revealed that she is departing the company due to her health scare. There was an injury that took place. She had to have surgery, and basically she's calling it quits. And there's nothing wrong with that, but of course, anytime a wrestler gets hurt, I say it all the time, guys, health before wealth. You know exactly what I mean by that. But at the same time, too, it is just unfortunate because this is somebody who I felt like had a lot of promise. There's a crop of talent in the women's division in NXT where all of them are really good. And, you know, there's going to be a lot more TV time going around with so many call-ups. I was actually looking forward to seeing Brinley Reese get the call-up, but she's decided that she's not going to be staying with the company any further. Very sad, very unfortunate. This is not the kind of stuff that you want to hear, but it happens. And it looks like she's going to be done wrestling. It doesn't sound like she's going to go to AEW or TNA or anything of that nature. When she heals up, you never know. You never know what the future brings. But of course, this is something that still has to be discussed. And really, for Shawn Michaels and the WWE, this is not a big loss for your company. Like, I'm not foolish. We can all agree with that. But I do think it is important to at least bring it up because of the fact that it just goes to show you how stacked the women's roster is, and it goes to show you how stacked NXT is. But there's a lot of people, maybe they don't come from a wrestling background, and then they get hurt and they have this. It has a significant effect on them mentally and physically. And then how can you expect them to like want to keep wrestling? You know, some people have this dream since they were a little kid, and not everybody does, and that's okay. This is not a knock towards Brinley Reese. Hopefully everything goes well. Hopefully she heals up. I would love to see her come back to professional wrestling at some point. I really do believe in her potential, but this is her decision, and it is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the Ango Show.